Guys, let's go over some results from this last week of college football. If you guys can see above me, we went 68% on the spread this weekend. That was for the Patreon people. Just so you know, the Patreon is free. Make sure you hit the link in the bio to join. You'll get all my picks for the rest of the year. This last weekend, locks were like 72%, and the leans were 78%. If it wasn't for a lot of those money line underdog picks, I told you to only pick because of the value, it would hit at a 75% clip this weekend, or only the spreads. And by the way, our player props went profitable also. But let's get into these games. What we learned in this game up here is Oklahoma State just isn't as good, and I called it in the offseason. Now, I kind of backtracked that take as the season went on here, but we now know they're just not great. UIU barely win. We knew Navy was going to blow out UAB. I'll be honest with you, Tulane kind of shocked me. I thought that game would be close. Called it with UConn blowing out Buffalo. I told people not to bet on a new starting quarterback, and I'm glad we didn't. NC State barely squeaking out a dub. Obviously, Syracuse winning. I told everyone Indiana's going to win, and by more than a touchdown. Nebraska did look rough to start out, but they ended up covering the spread. Michigan, you dirty dogs. They do end up winning, but they do not cover the spread. This is what I feel about Michigan. They're going to keep it close with great teams, and they're going to let bad teams keep it close with them. Kentucky barely beats Ole Miss. This was one of my only locks that missed. And Ole Miss just has terrible play calling when they are the superior team. In that first half, I want to say they had 5 minutes of possession. Just can't do that. We are officially off the wagon of Kansas after this game. I will take the L. I just evaluated them wrong in the preseason. UNLV looked really good against Fresno State. And that passing attack looks better without Sluka. I told everyone Sam Houston is going to cover, and they might squeak a win out. And they did. So happy for that team. JMU obviously beats Ball State. Ohio covered the spread. Told people not to bet on this game, and this is why. I told people UMass might sneakily cover that spread because Miami, Ohio is just terrible. I will say Louisville looked better than I thought, but I knew Notre Dame was going to win by a touchdown. Last second kick to cover the spread. USC has some glaring holes, but they're still super explosive and super elite. Fading Kent State to the moon. Kind of got lucky here, but I do think Oklahoma's still the better team. UTSA is way more disappointing than what people thought in the preseason. A&M, Arkansas, ugh. I told people to stay away from this game for this exact reason. Knew Georgia Southern was better than Georgia State, but we do not bet on rivalry games, at least all that much. Another one of my locks that missed. Bowling Green just looked like a totally different team from the last couple weekends. I said Colorado was going to keep it close with UCF, and I was wrong. They actually blew them out. Knew that spread was way too big for Mississippi State not to cover. And come on, North Carolina. Up 20-0 and let a Duke team come and beat you? I have no words. Didn't know enough about this game to predict it. Same thing with here. Pretty even team. Come on, Kennesaw State. You cannot beat an FCS school. FAU gets it done alongside a Big Justice. I was really scared for the spread. Houston just cannot score. ULM getting it done. A little surprise. Clemson obviously looking elite. And I tell people all the time, North Texas is all gas, no brakes. And they did start rough. In the middle of this game, they looked like they could have put up 100 points. Ohio State gets it done. This game was probably too close for comfort. That Penn State D is elite. The score of this game, it does not tell the story. I think for the most part, Alabama looked like the clear better team. They just let up and had vanilla play calling. They were so far up because they just wanted to win. Memphis destroying MTSU. Same here with LSU. Texas Tech barely winning the game. Wyoming is a different team at home, and I did pick them to win outright. New Mexico a little too close for comfort. But Devin Dampier is our Lord and Savior. He covers everything. Didn't watch this game, but Oregon looked like they let up that second half. I told people I think Arizona is better than what you think. I preseason evaluated them to be like top 20, top 15. I'm not saying they're there yet, but they look like they're getting there. Boise State is just superior, guys. And finally, SMU beats Florida State. Florida State cannot hang with any offense that can put up more than 30 points. If you made it this far, guys, make sure you join the Patreon because it's 1 for free and 2 we're winning money. And there is more content in there if you don't do betting.